There are way more advanced AI workflows out there, but honestly, you don't need all of them to get started. This is a simple workflow with tools you're already using, maybe some new ones. So how do we get from this image to this image? Well, it all started with MidJourney. In MidJourney, we were able to create this concept art. We have a lot of different things that we can choose from, but we chose this one as our hero image. We brought that into Gemini. In Gemini, you can specify to keep the design and art consistent, but for it to give you the different angles. So now that we have all of our angles together, we could go into Tripo 3D and bring those 4 images, and we will be able to create a 3D model based off of it. All right, so now that we have the 3D model, we're gonna go into our settings here in the export, and we're gonna go to USD. And we're gonna export that as a USDZ. And as soon as we import that in, I will go and open that in Blender. Blender is the one that actually works the best for me right now in this workflow. And I'm using my JL Tools import and export. Okay, it's saved. Hop back onto Houdini and we'll bring that in. All right, so in the USD to Blender plugin, then we're going to import and we'll find in our model here, which was the cyborg head, I believe. And we'll import that in. Perfect. And this is what we got here. And those are the building blocks that we will start doing to assemble our scene. And the other thing I do here, just because I can't really tweak the materials, I'll go and go to USD to matte and create those materials. And there it is. It'll create that one material that's in here with our texture, and we can go ahead and tweak the metalness and bring it down, the specular and the roughness, get it looking more shiny, right? And we can go further, and if we didn't want to go this way, we can also import it as a SOP create. We'll just copy that here, go to SOP create and do an USD import, copy that path in, and then we can go to unpack and geometry type to polygons. And now we have access to the polygons, and then we can go ahead and select different parts that we want. All right, so here we have the same import. I did the USD, unpacked it into polygons, and here I blasted the skin part. So now we have just the mechanical parts right there. It's very rough, it's not perfect. And it's fine because we're just going to use it for an image. We're not going to have it rendered in animation or rigged at all. So it's all good with this. So we put it as a back group, and that's what I called it. And here is the opposite, that this kind of just shows the face, mainly the skin part. I didn't worry about too much about the eyes. And yeah, we left it like that. Then we put a group for face. We merged those two. And I was testing out the measure, but I didn't end up using it. But you can definitely output this as maybe like a mask. So if you did want to, you can have different parts of it. So let's say like curvature, for example. You middle mouse click or click on the eye there and click on curvature. And you can output this as a mask that then you can possibly use for your shading. So it's very useful in case you wanted to do something specific with the shading and how it detects the crevices and all that stuff. And I think it's something it's worth looking into if you wanted to do something more advanced. But I didn't really use it for this case. And we'll go back and you'll notice I have some Kit Bash 3D stuff here. And what this is just the Cyberpunk pack that I bought a while ago. And this is the garage interior. So if we take a look, this is what we got. So pretty much we piped that in. Right here, we just have our regular lights in there, a couple lights here and there, and we'll wait for it to load. And if we turn this off, now we have our head here, which is perfect. But it's not textured. So we're using the same tools that we have to automatically create the shaders and stuff. And here we have the full head. Perfect. Another thing I added was Karma Fog. However, this will increase render time a lot. So, you can either do it in composite and render a depth pass, or you can use it as is in camera. And we have a couple lights here. And then I started doing something different. I ended up using an instancer as a point to distribute our new models that we were creating. This from big, medium, small. I just kind of grabbed that. That's one of the guys there from the pack. We textured him using the same method that I have with auto creation of the materials. And we match size it so it's right in the middle, and we transformed it to get it into position where we want. And then also we have an add, and we have a p-scale attribute in case we wanted to have further tweaks on that. So let's wait while the scene loads. And there he is. There he is fixing that neck bar right there. And we did the same thing here. We're using an instance. And here we have a sci-fi barrel, which is the same process. We do a prompt in MidJourney, or we can just do the prompt straight up on Gemini, and we get our angles, and we bring that into Tripo 3D. So then we can get our render, our actual generated 3D model. We're match sizing it, we're transforming it, and we're positioning it. So now with this instancer, I can have it in 2 different spots. So let's wait for the scene to load. And I kind of lost my way here. So here it is. So we have one there and the other one right here. Okay. And I kind of rested on kind of like an angle like this and just a different focal length. And here's another part because our head didn't have a place to stand. We actually got this from big, medium, small. And this is more like a lift or like a anchor point for the head. And that's structured right here in the bottom. And I put 2 of them. You can't really see them. From the view that we have, we are able to see that the head is sitting on something. So it's not floating. All right. And then in here, we have another one. This guy was downloaded from CG Trader. And it's a Blender model that I was able to pose like this. And I exported it out as a USD. All right. And then we positioned him in place. Wait for it to load one more time. All right. So we positioned him here. All right. And then now we have another one, which this was the same workflow using just Gemini and then just getting the different angles. And then in Tripo 3D, it was able to create this kind of like a post-apocalyptic server rack. And we did the same. We added a point in there, match size, and a transform. And then we're able to position that also in another area here. So we have that right here. And it's kind of going through the geometry, but we're not seeing that in camera. So we weren't really worried about that. And now we can go all the way to our cameras here and start looking. So this one I wasn't using. I don't think I was using this one either. And I think our final, actually, I think it was 3 and it was all the way to the end. Yeah, so this is our final render frame. So this is what the final image looked like. This was a wider one that I rendered, but here is the original one. So here is the final one. All right, so I was doing some edge detection here to try to do like some sharpening on the edges. It didn't really work out how I wanted, so I didn't end up using it. So I turned off the sharpen, but that's what that was for. Then right here, we added some contrast, and then here we added some brightness back. We're crushing all the shadows and everything, and we're clamping a few things. We're adjusting it, clamping it one more time, adjusting it again. I don't know if it's actually needed all this stuff here. And we added some glows, and then we're screening everything in. So we have that subtle glow on the bottom. And in the eyes actually makes it look much better. Instead of this saturated how it is here, now we have that kind of white spot. It just makes it look a little bit better. And then here we did a color correction. This is like the major part that changes the whole vibe of the image. And we added some contrast back in and some chromatic aberration. And then right here we have 2 fractal noises at a really high scale distribution. And then here we have a little bit bigger, and we blended those two in to get this kind of grain texture. And we're adjusting the hue, just lowering the saturation just a bit. And then in here, we're compositing it over. So now we just got a little bit darker. So it started like this and then like this. But we're adding that kind of noise that we like, that little film grain. And then we're adding some contrast, we're adding some brightness back, and we're adding a vignette. And that's pretty much our final image. And the way that we quickly created an animation with this was that we did a preview render. I kind of just made everything grayscale and just kind of use this as a regular reference, right, for the motion. And then I inputted our final image, which was this one here. So what I used for this was Kling AI. You may need to purchase some credits in order to be able to use it. But I ended up using a video reference. And in the video reference here at the bottom, we just add in our video preview that we created that I showed you and our image. And that's what I ended up with. So this is kind of the final result for it. You could prompt it to do different things, but it's not really like the best at trying to do different things on top of that, because it's using the preview as a kind of like a motion tracker to do it. I wanted to do something that maybe like the mouth is moving, but then it started adding teeth, and I didn't like that. And you know, this was interesting, but you know, it changed the colors a bit. It does kind of, the colors do kind of jump all over the place. That's another thing I don't like of the color correction. So in the end, we're just trying to solve problems in a simple way with tools we're already using. I know you're using probably ChatGPT or Grok or any of those chat programs, and some of them do generate images. So you can start generating, you know, designs from there and bringing them into Gemini to get your different angles, and then bring it into Tripo 3D to start building your assets slowly. That's it for y'all today, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.